Hello, Scorpio. Okay, so we are asking the question, where should you be directing your focus and attention and energy right now? Okay, where should you be directing or focusing your attention and energy? Where should you be directing your focus, your attention, your energy? So I want to ask, questions about, I know that a lot of people come to tarot because they're looking for answers around love. But really, the best answers that we can have regarding love and relationship is really to look within. That's where we will find the best answers, is if we look within, because the outer world is always a reflection of the inner world. Okay? So if we are working to really improve ourselves, to be the highest possible version of ourselves, then we will be attracting a partner who's really essentially trying to do the same, and that's what we want, right? Okay, so here we go, Scorpio. We have the Three of Air, which is the Three of Swords. We have the Hermit. We have the Emperor. And we have the Star. Okay, so 3 of your 4 cards here are major arcana. So when we ask about directing or focusing your attention and an energy, this is big for you, okay? Okay, so the Three of Air is the Three of Swords, and I feel like the Three of Swords is the most recognizable card in, excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take a little coughing break. But again, okay, so the Three of Swords, it is the most recognizable card in the deck because it immediately, in the Rider-Waite anyway, it will immediately communicate a sense of pain, right? Because there's 3 swords piercing a heart. And that, there's no better imagery to it's simple, and it just immediately communicates pain. Okay, so the Three of Swords, it is a card of pain. It is a card of pain, of heartache, of just some extreme emotional difficulty that is present. Okay, and so I feel like also, though, right? Because this Three of Swords, this Three of Air, is coming in with the Hermit card. And I feel like for you, that's really important because this Hermit card is really giving the vibe of there's all of these keys hanging up here, and then there's this big door, right? There's also this face on the front of the door. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but so what I'm really feeling is whatever this pain is that you may be experiencing, I feel like it is the key, okay? It's the key. It is the key to unlocking this door, which leads to the Emperor and the Star. Okay, so I feel like, when we ask the question, where should you be directing or focusing your attention or energy, focus it in on this Three of Swords, on this Three of Air. Focus it in on this pain, okay? Because there's something hidden in this pain that is really going to unlock the door, open your eyes to some new powerful awareness, okay? We have in this deck, the birds symbolize the swords, yeah? But so you have these two swords, these two birds here, and they're both wearing crowns. They're facing each other. It's like they're having their own little conversation here on the stick. And then you have this bird here sitting on this woman's wings. Also has a crown, which is interesting, okay? But I feel like this little birdie is trying to whisper something in her ear. This little bird is trying to say something to this woman, trying to pass on this little bit of knowledge, this little like secret knowledge that, you know, she's not really hearing because she has her back turned to this bird, but this bird feels like it is intent on giving her this message, okay? So I feel like hidden within this pain, whatever this pain is that you might be experiencing, is a message. It's something that is, I feel, important because I feel like it holds the key, right? We have all of these keys, you know, here with the Hermit card. And I feel like this little birdie is almost telling you which key is going to open this door. Okay? And it's interesting also because I feel like this face here, it's almost like a, I don't know, like a garden gnome. It's giving me like these vibes of like garden gnome or anyway, he is protecting the door. He's got some knowledge there, and he's protecting the door. He's making sure that you can only enter if you have the right key. Okay? And the right key for you is hidden somewhere in this pain that you're experiencing, okay? Or this pain that is coming forward, this painful thing, okay? The key is hidden in that. And once you find that right key and you open this door for the Hermit, right? The Hermit is an energy of going within. It's an energy of kind of isolating yourself from the world so that you can really like be alone with yourself, be alone with your thoughts, and really look at your light within and discover your light within. But also, the Hermit, you know, like people say, okay, they're going into hermit mode, right? They're not having contact with anybody outside. They're like just completely, they're doing all of this inner work. They're shutting themselves off to the outer world. And it's kind of a enticing place to be sometimes, because when you shut yourself out from the world, like you also are shutting yourself out from anything that might be, it's a very controlled environment, right? You get to control the environment pretty much. And so you get to really like, you know, block yourself out from anything that might want to come forward and take up your time, and you get to say no. And so it can be enticing to stay there in that space. But for you, I feel like you need to unlock that door, right? And go into that space, because what's behind that door for you, once you move past the isolation, once you move past the introspection, where you end up is here in the Emperor. And the Emperor is, you know, the Emperor is an energy of really taking charge. It's an energy of, you know, seeing a future and building the path to that future, right? It's, you know, knowing where you want to go, and if there's no road there, you build the road yourself, okay? It is really an energy of taking charge of your own life, and in that process of taking charge of your own life, you're also helping others, okay? Because the Emperor is not selfish. He can be sometimes, right? He can seem like it on the surface because he does what he has to do, right? And sometimes those are hard decisions. Sometimes he has to do hard things, and sometimes those those decisions, those things might seem selfish, but the Emperor is nonetheless always thinking about the empire, okay, the whole. And so sometimes the single person or the individual, or a particular group, might not feel like the Emperor is acting on their behalf, but that's not true. The Emperor is acting on the behalf of everyone. He's thinking about what's best for everyone, okay? Okay. So, the focus for you is, again, finding the key. Buried within the pain is the key. And it's important for you to find that key that unlocks the door that leads you to the energy of the Emperor. Okay, because in that energy of the Emperor also exists the star. And the star is, it's a future of hope. It's a future of, brighter days ahead, right? Like the star is like the glimmer of light in the night sky, right? And the night sky, of course, it's darkness, it's the shadow, it could be the subconscious, right? The moon shows up in the dark, right? And when you spend time in the energy of the Three of Swords, in the energy of pain and hurt, it's a dark energy. You're in the darkness, right? And you can get lost in that darkness if there's not that little glimmer of light, if there's not that little glimmer of hope that points you in the right direction, that says, like, don't forget about me, I'm here, the light is here, okay? And so so for you, like really focusing on, like, go ahead, like dive deep into this pain. Like that is what it's asking you to do here. And find that little message that wants to be known. Find that little, that secret that wants to be known, that wants to be discovered through diving into the pain and the hurt, okay? Find that message, because that message is going to be like the little glimmer of hope that is the star. It's going to be like that little glimmer of light that exists in the darkness, okay? But not only that, I feel like it really brings you to this strength, right? So the Emperor here is really, he's portrayed as the lion, right? The lion is the same image on the strength card, right? Because the lion is seen as like the king of the jungle, right? He is like the the picture of strength and bravery and courage. And so this process is unlocking the key to embodying this strength of the Emperor, this courage, this bravery, this I really like, I don't always feel the Emperor this way. Sometimes I feel the Emperor is like, I don't really like him because he's kind of like a hard ass or something. But this I'm feeling is like, okay, so I guess it's kind of like this, right? If you have somebody who's inexperienced, hasn't experienced, the pain that life can sometimes bring us, right? The pain of loss, the pain of disillusionment, whatever, right? If someone who hasn't really lived life, hasn't really experienced those challenges, and they rise up into a position of power without having a full understanding of what that really means and how that can really affect people, I feel like that's a really dangerous thing, and that, that I feel like that doesn't really lead to outcomes that are for the greater good of humanity, right? But this here, like, this is you you know, who has experienced that pain and that challenge and that loss, right? And through that, you rise up into this position of the emperor, and you're able to bring all of that experience forward into this power, this position of power and strength. And it's perfect because that experience really allows you to rule the empire in a way that is for the greater good of all, right? The greater good of humanity, not just for yourself. It's not selfish. It's not, you know, inconsiderate, and, you know, it's very considerate about of humanity, okay? And so this here, right? Like, where should you be directing or focusing your attention? These are big things, okay? So I feel, right, that you really want to focus it on this pain that is happening, because there's a secret message that wants to be known through it, okay? And that thing, that secret message, that thing you learn through the pain is going to be the key that unlocks the door to put you in this position of strength and power and courage that brings hope to not just you, but to others around you, the empire, to humanity, right? So this is big. This is a big thing for you. So there's something in the works here for you. You know, and this part of it may not be showing up right away. It may be a year or two down the line, right? But this is going to show up for you, okay? And what you need to know right now is that this, you know, moving through this pain and finding and unlocking that secret message within this pain is the thing that is going to bring you into this position of, like, really, I don't want to sound too dramatic, but I mean, this is what I feel. Like, it's going to bring you into this position of really creating some greater good for humanity. So I don't know what this is. I don't know when it's going to come about. We can ask questions about it, but I feel like that's not the point right now. You know, just know that this is part of your path, that this is part of your destiny. But for now, in this moment, your focus needs to be on moving through this pain, right? Moving through this challenge, moving through this loss, moving through this difficult thing, whatever it is, and finding the secret contained within it, okay? All right, Scorpio. That's for you. I'm like, wow, I'm kind of like blown away. I feel it does, like, it makes me feel hopeful, you know? It makes me feel hopeful that there are people out there who are transmuting their pain into something that is, you know, good for the entirety of humanity. Sounds dramatic, I know, but that's what I'm feeling. And you know what? If you think about it, that's exactly what we need right now. We need people who are able to take their darkness, take their pain, take their suffering, and transmute it into a greater good for humanity. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay. Love you lots. Aloha.